Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What's up, big fellas? Welcome back to the Fig Bellas, where we got a special guest here. We got our big fella Alvin here.
Hello.
Nice to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have a very spicy episode for you today. We're talking about some JRPGs. Yeah. Our normal cast, I'm Abraham.
I'm Alia.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Marvin.
And we are going to get started. Let's start out this discussion about a game I've been enjoying recently. I'm just going to have to spill my thoughts on this. Astral Chain. It's a JRPG, relatively new, out on the Switch, made by Platinum Games. And, boy.
It's good.
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer for this, and my first thought it was, there's no way they can get this to run stable on the Switch. But lo and behold, it does.
It's really good. Platinum is amazing when it comes to making their kind of games, making the Bayonetta games, and making a Wonderful 101,
Nier Automata.
Nier Automata, Metal Gear Rising. So they're like really on top of the game when it comes to making that type of game.
Yeah, and just like even through all the games that I played, like JRPGs, they somehow managed to throw in new mechanics that blow my mind. Like upon starting, like the fact that in this game you're basically controlling your main character along with this JoJo stand from the Upside Down. But it's the combat is just so fluid, and I don't know how they do this.
I spent an hour in training mode. Like that first time you go in training, they're like, okay, have fun. Part of that was being stupid and not knowing I could just quit, but the other part was like, wow, like trying to learn, like, I didn't expect the chain to actually be like part of combat, but the way you can like use the chain to fling opponents back that are rushing at you, or just wrap up opponents, and the whole like positioning of your, I forget the name.
The Legion?
The Legions, yeah, the positioning of the Legions and just what they do. And I didn't make it through too much of the game, but like I got the first 2 Legions, and just the amount of what you can do with the Legions, it's just amazing.
Yeah. I like how all the different Legions, so I have 5 Legions? I think I have 4 Legions so far, but the different abilities that each one has, I like how they showcase that with the different missions, and it also plays into the different strategies that you can go into combat with. And there's just so much you can do in combat. It's crazy. Like you have different skills, like you have the normal skill tree for your Legions, and then you also have items that you can use and different helpers that you can call into battle with the drones. And it's a lot, but it just makes every encounter so fresh and enjoyable.
Definitely. Just Platinum adds something different to each one of their games that sets them apart. You go like, oh, Platinum's making another beat 'em up JRPG, and you're like, what's going to come out of this one? It's like always different.
Yeah.
So it really makes them distinct, and like you can't say like, oh, I'm not going to buy Astral Chain because I bought Nier, or I've bought Bayonetta, or I've gotten Metal Gear Rising. Like, it's another Platinum game. Like, no, this one's very different from the last one, and you're definitely going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and then I like how they make this balance between the JRPG side, like the action RPG side, but also this kind of detective part of the story that since you're a police officer, part of the game is going around the city finding missions and then talking to people and collecting clues to try and figure out what's going on with whatever mission you're on at the moment. And so that could be such a boring part of the game, but it's so aesthetically beautiful that it's really engaging every time I get into parts like that.
I haven't even gotten to the music yet.
Oh.
The music is really good.
I just want to stay in the Neuron headquarters and listen to that theme.
Neuron, like Task Force Neuron, such a good song.
Yeah. I remember the first time I got that part of the game and just stopping everything just to listen to that. Just so smooth. I I don't know who did the music, but they did their part. They played their part well. Um, so how far are you on
Mission
the story so far?
Mission like 4.
Gotcha.
So I've gotten about 2 of the Legions. I'm playing it casually because it's on my friend's Switch.
Yeah.
So whenever he plugs into Switch, and since it's a JRPG, it takes like you have to set apart that time to play it. Any JRPG you go in, whether it's like Persona or Final Fantasy, you just gotta like be like, hey, I can't do anything else. I have to work on this because even the missions.
Yeah,
and,
the missions are about 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So
Holy shit.
the story so far, I guess without spoiling too much, I'm getting a lot of Evangelion vibes from it. I mean, I got that kind of vibe from the very first intro, but like I'm definitely getting more vibes from it as I progress.
Yeah, especially with the backstory of the Legions and how they are, and just like the whole being thrown into that into the world type of situation really definitely reminds you of Eva. You can even use colors to make yourself like Eva.
Yeah.
For one.
And I'm really interested to see how it's going so far because it, even though I would say it resembles Eva in a way, it does set itself apart in the story. Like right now, without giving too much away, I'm in this different part of town where you're going and investigating this undercover team of people, and it seems like these people have some secrets to uncover about the police force that you're working with, and so that kind of switching sides to see what's going on, what's really going on the outside world is that's really interesting right now. But yeah, any other thoughts, criticisms?
My only criticism
I'm
is...
sorry, it just sounded like the gates of hell just opened, but
Yeah, my only criticism about the game is just like wishing it was like a little bit more accessible. I understand Platinum is pretty much almost second party at this point with Nintendo, with them pretty much rescuing Bayonetta and all they've done. But and I understand the whole aspect of it is like, yes, it's on Switch, so it gets people to buy Switches or buy games on Switch. But I would love to see how it would run on PC, or run on like PS4 Pro, just like how beautiful it would be. Because at times I don't have a Pro controller, so it feels kind of cramped on your hands if you're using just like the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
But other than that, I really don't have any criticisms. Platinum came out with another game. Again, I haven't finished it, so I really can't give a deep review of it. But it's very enjoyable. But it's long, but it's enjoyable, which is good. That's most of JRPGs.
Yeah, I feel like one thing about Platinum games, they definitely make their games hard, which I guess I would say that's a good for me, coming from someone who's like pretty seasoned in JRPGs, but like for a newcomer, I would definitely say play this game on easy mode because it will kick your ass.
Yeah, it's definitely a big learning curve, just learning everything. And they do have IGN reviewer difficulty.
Yeah.
So like, hey, don't do anything, just enjoy the story difficulty. So if you're looking for a story to get into and just want to have a little bit of fun, but we want a challenge is definitely there with how intricate and detailed of combat system is and how hard it can be multitasking yourself and your stand at the same time.
Yeah, and the rating system is so brutal. Like I'll do missions and I thought I did really well and there's like D. I'm like, really? But yeah, great game. I'm probably going to talk more about it once I finish it. But let's get into a game I have finished recently. Kingdom Hearts 3.
A lot of mixed opinions about Kingdom Hearts 3 have been going around this year.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with presentation.
Yeah.
So,
Marvin, did you have anything to say?
About presentation?
Yeah.
Immaculate.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much going to go around the table.
Yeah. That's the only thing that like most people like, regardless of your opinions on like the story and everything on the characters, most people will agree, it's a very well presented game. They put so much work into the music, into the visuals. I mean, most of the time the visuals for like the Disney like properties that they're adapting, they look better than they did in the actual movie.
Yeah.
Like even the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Oh my hey, well,
God.
we gotta save that. We're gonna have about 20 minutes on that.
Oh yeah, and gameplay is just really great. My main thing with the gameplay, a lot of people were worried like before the game came out that like the gameplay is gonna be a super duper floaty, which in ways it is, but it's easy to get around it because they give you so many mobility options.
Yeah.
And it's just it's so open ended with how you can approach combat. I just loved it.
Yeah, I like how the combat builds on itself. I feel like at the beginning there weren't a lot of options for you, but it still gave you enough to kind of get a feel of what you had. But then by the end, you have a whole arsenal to throw at.
You're God.
So I'll start with music. Everyone who knows me knows I love Yoko Shimomura, and I love just anything she touches when it comes to a game, from Street Fighter music to she's done a Mario and Luigi music.
Yeah.
To she even did the banjo remake songs in Smash.
Oh really?
Yes, and you can like tell if you listen to it, you're like, that's a lot of violins. So like I will say, like, going to Kingdom Hearts 3, I wasn't sure what to expect music wise. I was like, is there gonna be a lot of original music? And going into it, a lot of remade music, a lot of like rehashed, but some of those songs I was like, wow, I didn't think the song could sound any better. 2 songs I want to shout out: the Monsters Incorporated boss.
Okay.
That song was the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep boss theme, and it sounded amazing. And also the Vanitas fight, like I've never heard Yoko use guitars. I didn't know she could do it, but just using like the music was so well presented, and even like as you're talking like pirates, like the first time I like fought an enemy and I heard that choir come from the back, and I was like,
oh my God.
And then like San Francisco, the music, like all the music's good. Like hearing You Got a Friend in Me, like a remake of that by Yoko was so good. In the gameplay, in that aspect, coming from like playing Kingdom Hearts since I've been like in diapers. Like Abram heard me when I first started playing Kingdom Hearts and just how much I talked about it.
That was like one of the first things I learned about you when we met.
We met in like 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So like I came from like Kingdom Hearts 2 was made by like Tokyo Team, and like everyone praises Kingdom Hearts 2 for its tight gameplay, not floaty. A lot of like thought goes into it with the abilities you can use, and just like if you see like seasoned Kingdom Hearts 2 players, they just like can just hacks through everything. It's so amazing. And then we went into the season of, they made 358, and that was like trying to make Kingdom Hearts 2 in a DS, which doesn't really work, but it was okay. And then we went into Birth by Sleep, which is made by a completely different team. And that's when we started getting this floaty, characters don't have hit stun. When you hit like a boss, it just doesn't move. So it just whacks you back. Every game had some broken command or something broken about it. So you kind of just got through the game spamming that. And it wasn't really much room for thought. And so like Birth by Sleep had like the surge spells and shot locks where you just kind of spam those. Everyone knows about flow motion and balloon spells in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And, you just like balloon. So like everyone was kind of scared going to Kingdom Hearts 3. They're like, hey, this is the 3rd game. You don't want it to be floaty. You want actual hit stun, revenge values. For those who don't know, revenge value is after you hit in Kingdom Hearts, after you hit something so much, it would then hit you back. But like it didn't really work in Birth by Sleep. You just kind of kept spamming the same thing, and it was just like infinite hit stun. It was like, wow, I'm really not thinking to like beat this. But like they went back, like we got 2.8, 0.2, and we were like, wow, like they're kind of actually doing things. But Kingdom Hearts 3, we had everything. We had our flow motion, which wasn't as broken, which I'm so glad about.
Oh, yeah.
We had shot locks, which weren't as broken, which I was happy about. And then adding new things like Grand Magic. Like we've never had like the Sus spells in Kingdom Hearts. That was amazing.
That was amazing.
And then we got forms back, but like it was by the Keyblade.
Yeah.
Which, like,
Insane.
being able to switch Keyblades, that's amazing. Like, you had 3 Keyblades on you at the same time. You could switch through them during, like, if I know, like, what the attack pattern is of an opponent, I can use Counter Shield to block that, then switch to another thing. And it was just, like, I hear people talk about, I waited 13 years for this game, and it's such a disappointment. But, like, first of all, Kingdom Hearts 3 really started development in 2014, and then had to scrap to start a new engine on Unreal. Right. So, like, we really waited, like, 2 or 3 years for this game. Yeah. And, like, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So, that's what I have to say about gameplay and visual presentation and everything.
I mean, you pretty much gave a whole review.
Say it, dog.
Yeah, you stole most of my words,
Sorry.
but yeah, I guess I knew the music was going for something different when I started the opening and I heard Skrillex come on. I was like, what? But yeah, music was beautiful as always, to be honest. Like I didn't even want to press start on the menu just how beautiful
Dearly Beloved.
Beloved was.
I was gonna ask y'all about that. What was your thoughts? Because I think it's the best rendition they've done.
It's to my top 3 renditions of Your Dearly Beloved.
Yeah, it's probably number one, if not number two. Number one, number two, either Dream Drop Distance or Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. I'd say my top 3 for Dearly Beloved would probably be anywhere between 2, 3, and Birth by Sleep. But like, I never think that song can get better, and then it does.
I just liked it. Just had a whole different vibe to it in this game. Like usually, I don't know how to describe it, but this one it felt more relaxed, almost, or it felt like it was approaching it from a completely different angle than it had been in the past. But then it still brought the full emotion out of it, and I loved it. Visuals, amazing. Every world that he went to looked like the world that it was, and I was like, this doesn't look jank. I'm great. Yeah. That's gameplay. Alvin pretty much summed up everything about gameplay. Well, not everything, but like a lot of what I was thinking about gameplay. But going back to the worlds,
Ooh.
what do you guys think about the worlds that they went to in this game?
I want to hear a favorite and least favorite from everybody who's played the game, just to see
for
where
sure.
we're grading at.
Before I go into the worlds, I guess I'll talk about. This was the first game I played that I flew in a gummy ship. I haven't played all the games, but this is the first time I had gotten into a gummy ship. So that was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting to have as much fun with that as I did.
Gotta say, it's probably one of my favorite gummy ships. Kingdom Hearts 1 gummy ship being something you hated. The gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts 1 was bad. Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ship was good because like it was very straightforward, like boom, boom, done. Like you didn't have to drag it on.
Yeah.
But like when they sat me down in that gummy ship being a seasoned Kingdom Hearts 3 player, I thought I was gonna have this map where I just clicked on the world and just like got there. And it's like, oh no, you gotta fly there.
Yeah.
You gotta get there yourself. I'm like, where is it? Where is this world? Where is it? So
Making you work.
it was also like the first game where I got deep into the gummy ship. Like I built my own gummy ship.
Yeah.
Shout out to anyone who knows what the donut is.
The donut.
Like
Donut, yeah, when you like build a ring.
and like everything just goes straight through it. But like I didn't just donut the game. Like I found different things, and it was just fun. Like working with the gummy ship and just seeing how it worked. And it was fun. Like just like bosses and
I loved making my own gummy ship. The first one I made was like this dumb little tiny thing, but I was like so proud of it because it was shaped out of a heart. And then I just kept making more and more iterations of it. I'm like, it just felt so satisfying to me to have something I built just fly around in space. It was like, yes, I love this.
I concur.
All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the worlds. Marvin, favorite, least favorite?
Favorite. Oh gosh.
that's the hard one.
All right,
it
least favorite than favorite.
least favorite. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was probably Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah, very controversial.
That's very controversial.
Yeah.
I think my opinion is a little bit more mainstream. I just didn't like Arendelle. I did not like Frozen.
Who you're not gonna like me?
I mean, I'll get into why I don't. If you talk about every world individual, I'll get into why I did not like Frozen and
Alright.
like how it was very meta. The characters knew what was going on, and even said like, "Wow, we're going up this mountain again." I was like,
I did not like Monsters Inc.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess now we can fight each other. Marvin, why didn't you like Toy Story?
Toy Story for me. Toy Story became my least favorite mainly because I was kind of disappointed. Mainly because the Gigas weren't as fun as I thought that they were gonna be. Like, and that's the crazy part, right? It's like everybody that I talked to about the game, they said they loved the Gigas. They thought it was like one of the most fun parts like of the game as a whole. But for me, they just felt really clunky. It felt like you were just kind of forced into them at times. Like the gameplay, like I liken it to like Arkham Knight. where they like force you to use the Batmobile the entire game. That's how I felt about the Gigas. Like there wasn't really any enrichment to the game for me to have to use them. I would rather just like be out like in the field with my keyboard. And that was about it. And the area, it wasn't small, but they didn't. It's something. It just didn't approach like all the areas that I wanted them to.
Pizza Planet.
Like Pizza Planet, or like I was hoping that they would do it like during Toy Story 3 so that we could go to like the kindergarten place or whatever, or stuff like that. So yeah, just not the parts of the world that I wanted, and the gameplay wasn't quite what I expected to be.
As someone who hasn't played the game, but I am semi-aware, what all do they have in the world for Toy Story?
So you start out, you're in Andy's room, essentially.
Of course.
But you can go out the window into like the street in front of like Andy's house or whatever, and then after that you go to is it Big Al's Toy Store, or is it like another toy store?
It's a different.
It's a different toy store.
It's a different toy store, but it's got like 3 floors to it. Like it's a very big space.
Is it still reminiscent of Toy Story 2 though?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a way. And it's a very big space. Like, I'm not knocking the size at all. It's just that they didn't go to all the areas that I wanted them to.
How do you, do you teleport to different locations? I'm guessing?
You can, once you do unlock the save points, you can fast travel, but like, the thing about Toy Story was like, you start in Andy's room, you walked down the street. You actually like walked your way down the street. There was the back lawn, the front lawn, the sides, and then you got into the toy store. The toy store is 3 stories if you don't count like the roof that you can get like that special like Mickey Mouse from.
You get the
and like
attic.
each shop is also its own area. And I will tell you that there's like maybe 3 load screens in this, even the vent. You can go into the vent.
Yeah.
So like it's very large for like. I do agree. I got there. I was like, oh, it's just a toy store, but like the toy store is so big.
Oh yeah.
So
and like that even goes to another scale since you're so small.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Thanks for context. I like it.
I guess I will say once I started Toy Box, I was so enthralled to see that I started out in Andy's room. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
I'm a
loved it too.
little toy.
Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. And Marvin, I loved the Gigas. I returned, like, even far into the game, I returned to Toy Box just to play that mini game because I thought it was so much fun.
Did you get the trophy for the Gigas mini game?
No, I didn't.
Bro.
That was hard.
Well, you know me. I platinum the game. So like I was there fighting them Gigas for a while.
Oh no.
I didn't really think it was clunky just because they gave you different mobility options like the zoom, and also you can jump and fly, and I mean it's pretty much based around shooting whatever.
And there's multiple different Gigas, so everyone has their own favorite.
Yeah.
And for me, the thing about the Gigas too is early in the game, it's literally free XP because you hop in a Giga, you shoot everything, you get the EXP for it, and if it kills you, you just hop in another one.
Yeah.
So like for me, at the beginning of the game, everyone knows I love to like overlevel myself at the beginning of the game so I can just kind of glide through. So I literally sat there in that Giga for like hours, and it was just fun for me because I'm like, you're dead, next Giga, hop over, you're dead. And it was just, I enjoyed the Gigas. I won't say it's like my favorite part gameplay was, but it was definitely something that like, if it hadn't been there, I may not have liked Toy Box as much.
Yeah.
But like since they added the Gigas, I was like, wow, this is like nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I enjoyed it. Let's talk about your least favorite Arendelle.
Arendelle. So
I could see why it was your least favorite.
like the thing about Arendelle is like, a lot of people do complain about like don't rehash Disney stories. Like we've done it, but like it's been done right. Like Universal Studios did a lot of it. We had like Night Before Christmas rehash, Mulan rehash. So like we even had parts of like Beauty and the Beast technically with the whole story of like the Rose and stuff. So we've had rehashes of stories, but like I feel like this one was just done like lazily because you weren't involved in the story Frozen. So like you got there and you're like, oh, like what's going on? Elsa's running up, and I'm thinking like I wonder who like my partner's gonna be. I'm hoping like it's Elsa because that's the only person that I think can fight, or maybe one of the other characters.
No, it's the snowman.
Okay, Marshmallow was a goat, but like
Yeah.
I will get into that later. But like he wasn't my favorite. Baymax is my favorite partner of all time, just because he's Baymax.
Okay.
But
Naturally.
but going up, we got up there, and being Larxene was like, haha, Sora, you're stupid, which I'll go into like Organization 13 later about like how they showed him like, haha, Sora, you're stupid. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, you're stupid, and they leave. But so like you get up the mountain, you get up there, and you're like, yes, and Larxene's like, you're stuck in this maze. So you get through the maze, and I really didn't like the maze. It just felt redundant, and like it just all looked the same. So like you got through the maze and you made it up, and then Marcin kicks you off, and you go up the maze again, and then Marshmallow kicks you off. You get up there, and then you fight Marshmallow, and then like you actually like get to have him as your team. And when by the time you make it down the mountain, you're like, oh, someone's kidnapped Elsa. But like if you did not watch Frozen, which I know everyone did, but like let's say you're a Kingdom Hearts fan strictly, you're not really into Disney, you don't know who Hans is, you don't know who all these characters is. You have to do an Olaf minigame, which was annoying, and then you get there. And then, like, after, like, looking, like, the data files, technically, like, the final boss of that world is, like, Hans. But no one tells you it's Hans.
Hans didn't even have a face in that story.
He didn't have a face. He didn't have storylines. You literally, Sora goes, what happened? He's just like, what happened? And all of a sudden, you see, like, Hans gets deflected. And you're like, okay, well, Frozen's over. And then it's, like, black hole. And then, like, you see Marshmallow die. And then Marshmallow's just fine. He's like, how did Marshmallow end up in that space anyway?
Right.
And then you fight, like, it's a good boss battle. Like, I'll say, like, that Hans, like, boss battle was really
awesome.
It was a good boss battle, but, like, he just, like, what you had a problem with, like, Toy Box, like, there wasn't enough. There was literally just a mountain, and that was the whole world.
Yeah.
And it was just snow and mountain, and, like, it was just one of those things where it's, like, you know, people knew Frozen was probably going to get a Kingdom Hearts, so people were expecting it, and we knew it was probably going to be a movie rehash. I mean, my most fun part of that whole world was seeing Sora react and Goofy react to Let It Go.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, I just, it's a world I literally did not revisit other than do the snowboarding mini game to get the trophy. Have not revisited that world. Really don't want to. Like, if you say, like, which worlds that you love, Arendelle is my least favorite just because it added nothing to the game, I feel like.
Funny you mentioned that. Also, my least favorite Orichalcum Plus to get for the, like, the Ultimate Keyblade, that mini game that you had to
Snowboard mini game.
Awful. Spent an hour doing that shit, dude.
I mean, you say the Olaf minigame was dumb, but at least it wasn't that stupid dancing scene.
Bro, that dancing goes hard, though.
I was like, what? Why do they have me stuck here for 10 minutes dancing? But, yeah, my least favorite was Monsters, Inc. It was just because, it just didn't, everything felt off. Like, they didn't really do anything. Like, the whole story was about, oh, there's monsters here in the monster world, so we have to go put Boo where she's safe. All right, we're going to spend this entire story getting back to Boo's door. After we defeat all the monsters, then we're going to put her where she's safe.
But
That's it.
It had the best scene in all of Kingdom Hearts. You got, like, Sully beating Vanitas and throwing him through a door.
Oh my god. Yo.
Like, I would just say I probably liked Monsters Inc. probably just because it's the only world you have unversed. And, like, I love Birth by Sleep story-wise. It's, like, one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games story-wise because it's so sad and it's, like, pretty good storytelling. So, like, just seeing Vanitas, because I love Vanitas. I loved Vanitas until he got thrown through a door. But Vanitas is one of my favorite characters in Kingdom Hearts, and just seeing him show back up, and he's like, hey, brother. I see you, Venti Winty. So he just shows up, and he's, like, doing his thing. And, I mean, I guess it was a big nostalgia factor going in, like, going, like riding on the doors, just has that whole feel of, like, Monsters, Inc. And, like, I guess it did feel like a smaller world to me, because, like, it was mostly just, like, we're in this factory. But, I don't know. It just, for me, just felt more involved, because, again, versus, like, Arendelle, we didn't really interact at all with, like, the main characters in Frozen.
Yeah.
This world, you did interact with Sully and Mike a lot, so it was just fun, like, getting to see that characterization. And the story was weird. It was like Ventus brought Randall back so he could cause a distraction, so he could make screams. And that is another problem with Kingdom Hearts 2 is a lot of things they do isn't explained. Like, we were seeing, like,
that damn box.
Yeah, like, the box, and, like, certain things were explained, like, I guess Toy Box, they explain later, like, we were trying to see if we could put a heart in a toy.
Yeah.
So, like, to explain, like, why Shion shows up later. But, like, he was like, we're trying to see, like, if we can harvest screams and use it for, like, this, and that. And, like, I understand why the inverse were there, because, like, the whole Toy Story premise is emotion, and the unversed, if you didn't know, if you have, like, Kingdom Hearts Birth are literally just Vanitas emotions. So, like, they're all his different emotions make those unversed. So, of course, the unversed are super strong in a place where they literally only harvest screams So like that's why they were so strong, and that's why I think he was like finding out about screams. But like I just like the interaction. I think it sold me when Vanitas got thrown through like 50 doors.
Yeah, I feel like the boss fight in that world was just kind of a letdown. Like it didn't feel like as big of a boss fight as the other worlds to me. It was just a big black goo.
Big black goo.
All right, quickly, let's talk about our favorite worlds.
Okay. Favorite world for me, Pirates of the Caribbean. What else can be said? I was a huge fan of Assassin's Creed Black Flag back in the day, and this was just that, but with Sora and Donald and Goofy and everything. So I mean, this was just like a dream for me. Plus the swimming sections were just beautiful.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to enjoy the underwater section.
Yeah, and it was a cool thing, like where your ice attacks became like more powerful whenever you were like in those sections. I didn't know about that until after I beat the game because I didn't use magic. But
I feel that.
Yeah, very nice attention to detail and just great. And I mean, I like the story of the last Pirates of Caribbean, at World's End, that Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That was my favorite one. So to see them adapt that, I was sold already. I already knew it was gonna be my favorite.
It definitely has the best. Kingdom Hearts is known for like really bad water sections. Like like it's just very clunky, like, going up, going down. So like it was so smooth. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree that Pirates was one of my favorite worlds.
Yeah, Pirates, my favorite world. I mean, that was Wind Waker, but in Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, all right, I'm sold.
I will say I hated the ship boss fight against Luxord.
I didn't hate it, but it definitely had me on the edge trying to defeat that. So many tentacles.
I guess I'm going with a different favorite world, but that's because I'm very biased to Big Hero 6. So San Francisco
Oh yeah.
was my favorite, and I guess that's a lot of me also figuring out that you can glitch that stage so bad to like get into other parts and like to go inside the building, see how they actually model inside, and like go to like other parts. It's a glitch with Ariel doesn't have collisions on her summon, so if you summon her and then go through the building and then undo it, you're stuck in the building, or you can use it to like go all the way off the map and just seeing that. You can do it in the Keyblade Graveyard too, because they actually make models for everything outside from where you can go. But I used Wreck-It Ralph for that. But like the music was good. I just love Baymax. Baymax boss fight was really cool. Just the emotions of it and how he interacted with them, because they were like, Sora, how are you running up that wall? Like, do you not have gravity? And they're like, he's like, I don't know, I've always done this. I've always just ran up walls. Do you guys not do that? And they're like, they also had like some fun mini games and just the music alone. And like you have a night version and a day version and how they're different. For me, I just really like, if we're not counting like technically like Scala at Kylo, because I think that's just default like amazing world.
Yeah.
That we haven't really got to explore, and the music for Scala at Kylo was amazing. But if it's just like Disney World, I'd say Big Hero 6 was my favorite. If it's not like Kingdom Hearts original.
I was a little disappointed for San Francisco. I felt like I was excited to see the big city there, but I felt like they didn't have much for you to do there during the story missions, or not even like during the story missions, but like after you're done. I wanted to like explore around and like do different side quests and like just discover what's around the city, talk to people and stuff like that, but all that was there was just buildings and monsters, and I was like, what? You just took the place and stripped all the fun out of it. So I mean, it looked amazing, and I love Big Hero 6, but I was just like disappointed about the content that could have been in that world. And they also they kind of discouraged you from exploring a little bit just because of how hard they pushed the story in that version, because you were either in the garage or doing a mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the world. Let's get to the story.
Story, character development, resolutions.
Likey.
So I guess I'll start off this one. I gotta say, Nomura loves plot holes. She just loves plot holes and just like solving a problem by adding another problem. So like, there's a lot of things where I'm like, yes, these things are all happening. So I'll go ahead and start off from beginning to end. Riku, Mickey were useless. I'll just go ahead and say that. Like, their whole job was to free Aqua, and you knew that from the beginning of the game, because they even let you play Riku, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's how I can be when I get better. They're like, Sora, do not go to the realm of darkness. You must get the power of waking. Sora, I'm just gonna go. Like, you got the other Sora's like, I'm gonna go. And he beats Aqua, and I'm like, you guys spent the whole game fighting Aqua and got beat. And, like, also the whole thing where I'm like, Mickey, why did you not save Aqua earlier? Like, if I was Aqua, like, if I was Aqua, I'd be so mad. Like, Aqua deserved to just beat their asses so much. Like, I was happy she was beating the mess out of Mickey. I was like, you deserve everything you've gotten.
Yeah.
Because, like, Yen-Sid pushed this whole thing, but I'll get into, like, how Sora failing the Mark and Mastery was Yen-Sid's own fault and not Sora's fault, because he literally told him to awake all the slumbering worlds, and there was, like, 9 of them, and he did all of that. And then the organization hijacked the whole thing. So it wasn't Sora's fault. He did what he was supposed to do.
Right.
It wasn't his fault he got hijacked. It's not his fault that Riku got darkness chickenpox and just can't catch darkness again. So that's how I felt about it. Also, they hyped up like Lee and Kyrie training, and we all know what happened to Kyrie.
I missed that a little bit.
What?
So fill me in.
Okay, so you make it to the end of the world. Like, also, like, the Disney World happens in their own space. Like, nothing really happens between, like, Sora going to the first Disney World and making it to the last one.
I mean, like, what happened with Kyrie? How did she come back from being...
Okay, so we learned out when we have, like, giant heartless tornado of doom that Sora has the power of waking and can literally just, like, not make people die for some reason. So he found out that he can make, like, all his friends come back to life. And that, Kyrie died because Xehanort was like, yeet. So... Anyway, like, at the end of the game, he's like, I'm gonna use Power Wake and go save Kyrie. So it's alluded that he does save Kyrie at the end. We don't know exactly how, but we just assume he used the Power Waking. Young Xehanor's been saying the whole game, use the Power Waking wrong, you're gonna die. So he rescues Kyrie, who I will say has probably just been a MacGuffin the whole Kingdom Hearts series, which is sad. But he saves Kyrie and he pays the ultimate price for it, which is getting Thanos. He just died. Also, like, is that really Sora's reward for winning? Is dying? Like, that's my one reservation about the story was like, Sora did all this. He doesn't get a thank you. Like, no one said thank you. No one said, man, you really beat Xehanort. We should make you a master. Sora's still not a master throughout this whole game. And, like, Sora's just cool with it. Like, also, like, he had the least reason to want to fight Xehanort until he killed Kyrie.
Yeah.
Like, Sora was doing the heavy lifting, and literally, I can name every other character who should hate Xehanort more. Even Donald and Goofy should have more reservations at Xehanort than Sora. So, like, it's just, like, the story, like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, I see where it's going, but, like, I just felt like, in some aspects, it did fix some things, but I felt like things happened really fast. Like, I was expecting, like, maybe halfway through we'll rescue the Birthplace Sleep members, or we'll get Roxas halfway through, or we'll kind of, like, because Kingdom Hearts have had, like, beginning, Disney World's big middle thing happens, like Kingdom Hearts 1, we went back to Traverse Town and Riku was evil, and we're like, oh, what's going on? And we went to Hollow Bastion and had to do everything over again. And then Kingdom Hearts 2, we went to Hollow Bastion again, and everything just kind of hit the fan, and we kind of see where our story's going. But we kind of just went through all the Disney Worlds, and then we save Aqua, save Ventus. Shion's there. Roxas comes out of nowhere. Terra's the Guardian. So everybody just literally gets saved at the end, and then we fight Xehanort, and it's over. So... for me, story-wise, I felt like if it just been a little bit slower, we got it in chunks. Like, it was like they took the pie and just kind of like stuffed it in my face at the end, instead of like me getting like slices of it and like seeing where the story's going. So like pacing-wise, it was off, and then also like the ending, where like they were like, you gotta play Kingdom Hearts Key to play Kingdom Hearts 2. You gotta play the mobile game, and then the mobile game was the epilogue, where you just have like all the foretellers show up except for Ava, and we have. Lushu is Zigbar.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so it's this thing where we finally beat Xehanort, but then Xehanort was being pulled by a string. So it's like the whole Naruto thing where like everyone's being pulled by some string. So it's like we beat Xehanort. I'm like, okay. Xehanort goes, yeah, I was a good guy, man. I just wanted the light to win. So we just got to restart the whole world. And I'm just like, that's not how you do it. Is everybody gonna forget that he literally killed people?
Yeah, Xehanort was like a mix between Gendo Ikari and Thanos.
Yeah, like
as a villain.
They tried to make him like the good guy at the end. It's like, you killed people. Like, these people are back now because you worked for it. But like, these people all had horrible lives because of you. And everybody just went, okay. And they're like, okay, I believe you. I'm the good guy. So I love that. Have you ever seen like those videos where it's like they were like, okay, we believe in Sora's like, I'm gonna go kill myself. They're like, what do you mean? I'm gonna go rescue Kyrie. So it's just one of those things where like at the end, I just feel like characters need to step up their game. Like Sora's been doing all this heavy lifting this whole time, and I just hoping that it's time for like them to do their part. Like I would love like we are getting a Remind DLC, which is going into because like there's a lot of plot holes like Lingering Will. Like, I was so hyped when Lingering Will showed up and was fighting Terranort because Terranort just washed everyone. Like, he showed up, he said dead, 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 dead. So like it was just they got washed. Like I want to talk about if it wasn't for like Deus Ex Machina, Keyblade.
Oh yeah,
from heaven.
Like what was that?
Kingdom Hearts Key. So the cool thing about Kingdom Hearts Key is like, well, the only cool thing I thought was like they did reference Kingdom Hearts Key. The foretellers from like the foretellers apprentices, like Ephemer showed up, and like all the Keyblade people that had died in the Keyblade graveyard helped Sora defeat like darkness itself.
Yeah.
And if you notice, each time you press triangle, a new username for Kingdom Hearts Key came up.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, like I didn't see myself, but I could have. Someone may have seen me. So it was a really cool thing to like see people's usernames. Like that was me.
Yeah.
That's what I figured for the game. For me, I guess I kind of ruined it for myself since it just felt like a meh version of the Weight of the World ending for Nier Automata. But I mean, it was cool it was probably cool if you played Kingdom Key.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, the story, like, yes, everything's technically resolved, and this is the end of the Xehanort saga. But I just
Please just end the series.
Yeah, like, at this point, like, for me, I just felt like, I don't know, like, it just ended wrong. Like, the Xehanort boss fight was cool. It was cool, like, seeing things. And then they even add, like, weird story elements. Like, why is Daybreak Town under Scala at Kylum? If you don't know, if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts Key, the town you're in is called Daybreak Town. And when you go to Scala at Kylum and you do the underwater section, you see that town underneath.
Yeah.
It's confirmed that that's Daybreak Town. So, like, what is Scala at Kylum? Why is Daybreak Town underneath it in the water? What is going on? Like, there's so many questions that keep building up and none of them get resolved. Like, we still don't know what Kingdom Hearts is, first of all. What is Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, that's what
What is Kingdom Hearts?
I was trying to figure that out. Like, is this the container that contains all hearts? Or is it like the Triforce that it just sways the hearts of all the living beings?
It used to be a door. You remember that?
Yeah, it used to be.
It was a door, and then we were like, okay, it's light. Like, light itself is Kingdom Hearts. The Kingdom Hearts 2 goes, actually, it's all the hearts. And then they go, that was a fake Kingdom Hearts. Xehanort can just summon the real one. What is Kingdom Hearts? Like, they never explain what Kingdom Hearts is. Xehanort ends up being...
They're fighting for it.
They're fighting for it. They end up explaining that Sora is like, I mean, Xehanort is like just a misplaced good guy. He has good intentions, but like the way he's going about them is wrong. So everybody just forgives him. Like
I liked that resolution at the end for Xehanort just because it gave me something to latch onto out of all of the villains. Because throughout the whole game, the organization was just, all right, I'm gonna fight Sora, and then Sora beats him, and like, all right, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna just become a regular person again.
Yeah, I mean, there were some cool things if you play Kingdom Hearts Key about some of them. Like Marluxia was like, "Hey Sora, I finally remember who I am," because he was actually in Kingdom Hearts Key. Some of these characters, well, Larxene was also is Elrina from Kingdom Hearts Key. I believe her name is Elrina.
Mm-hmm.
And like and Marluxia is Lorium, and like some of these characters are like, "Hey, like, I messed up." Also, one thing I didn't like either was how Riku, when confronted with the fact that there are only 13 Norts because you messed up in Kingdom Hearts 1, you're a Nort. One of you, like the past generation stuff is a Nort. He's like, he doesn't care. Like Riku, like I wanted him to be like, this is my comeback. Like I'm finally done with this whole darkness arc, the darkness in myself. Like I understand I messed up in the past, but I'm beating my past. No, he just went, okay, I beat you. And then Riku Replica came from nowhere inside him.
Who was that?
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. So Riku Replica came, and it was just the 3 Rikus on the screen.
Like, what
and 2 of them looked identical. And they just did this, like, they just went up in fireworks, and Riku was like, hey, I win. It was just like one of these things where I'm just, and then Riku ends up with Naminé, I guess.
Yeah, that's my ending.
Sora got Kairi, Riku got Naminé.
Sora got dust.
I mean, I feel like the only trio that like got a great conclusion was the Sea Salt trio, like Axel, Roxas
and Shion.
Shion. I don't know how I feel about Isa just hanging with them.
I'm like that. He's a fourth wheel.
But like,
Heavy.
I just like how even like Hainer, Pinsino, they all get to like it's all there, and like I gotta say, Hainer and Pinsino let the most understanding people. Sora showed up with this picture and said, "You know this guy. You don't know this guy, but you know this guy. You better find him." Like, yep, you don't know this guy, but we're gonna look for him because there's a picture with us in him. So like, I like their resolution because like Roxas finally got his ending and Shion got what she deserved. They all got what they deserved, but like.
I was so happy to see Roxas come on screen.
Yeah, I mean, he beat the mess out of Isa. Like, you did not have to fight that fight. He did all the work.
All right.
Yeah.
But, I know. The story was good, but they obviously knew that they were going to sell more games. So it wasn't, like, a perfect conclusion, but, like, I don't know. I guess, like, I was going to it, like, really hating Xehanort. You just want to see, like, them just beat Xehanort and be like, it's over. Like, it's done. But, and then Kyrie. The whole point is more or less that they had infinite amount of time to train. They literally had infinity amount of time to train. They could have left whenever they wanted to, because like in that space, it's like the hyperbolic time chambers. So time's frozen. You had all of eternity to train, and all you can do is just use a cure spell. Like I'm watching the fight, and I'm just seeing Shion beat the mess out of like Kyrie, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, did no one teach her how to pick up the Keyblade? And then like Zenmus comes up, he's like, I'm taking her, and just gone. I'm like, did Kyrie not even try to?
I feel like I was kind of let down with how easy fighting Xemnas, Ansem, and young Xehanort was.
Okay, you played it on standard. I played that on critical, where young Xehanort goes Zoroardo, and just stops everything, and then you're just getting like messed up by everything. I did like that fight though, because all their themes were mixed in to like one song. And it was just like, it's the boys, it's your boy Sora, Riku, Mickey versus like all the Xehanorts, and then seeing like how all the Norts, except for young Xehanort, actually have like reservations. They're actual people themselves, they're not just Xehanort. So like Ansem's like, yeah, I knew this I would lose, but you know, and he talks to Riku and he's like, it's nice seeing you like grow up and overcome the darkness, and it's been a fun time. And Zim is going, you know, I've told people all this time they didn't have hearts and not to trust, but like he's like, all the time I've just been lonely myself. And he said, I hated having a heart because of the pain you feel. He said, that's why that's why I always wanted to be nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's nice. And then you have young Xander who goes, screw off, Sora, you're going to die. So, like, I don't know. Like, it was nice fighting them, seeing their resolutions. But, I don't know, like, some of the organization members, I wish someone just told Sora, like, you know some of these people because chain of memories, but no one ever took the time to tell Sora, like, we erased your memories. Like, can no one sit down with Sora and go, hey, you went to this castle, and your memories got erased, and in order, like, you were forgetting everything, so we had to take these memories away and make sure you had your old memories. So, like, Sora really doesn't even still remember Chain of Memories, because Larxene shows up, and Marluxia shows up, and they're like, hey, Sora, and he's like, who? Who are you? And they're like, you know, he's like, okay, I believe you. But I have to say, high points were, like, getting to fight as Riku as well, and getting to fight as Aqua. Yeah. But like those were already assets they had, like Aqua being in 0.2. But that was fun. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for DLC because we see ourselves getting to fight as a lot of different people, and apparently like it's looking like that last section of the Keyblade Graveyard is gonna go a little bit different. So maybe that will fix some things for like story wise, because I gotta tell you something too. Terra being the Guardian was a very old fan theory from like 7 years ago. Yeah. And then like it happens, and they're like, Terra's the Guardian. I'm like, Nomura, you did not come up with this. This is an old fan theory that everyone knew already. And like, it was just like, everyone just came back, and they just came back. Like, it was just one of those things where I was like, wow, this just happened. Like, the whole point is, so we're going to Disney World to find the Power Waking when it was inside him the whole time.
That, I didn't like it.
I didn't like that either.
That was one of my main problems with the game. Well, one of the biggest problems I have with the game isn't unique to Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like the whole series in general. But the biggest problem I have with the game, because at the beginning it set up the whole game to be like a character development game for Sora. Like, I mean, they give him this big tragedy. It's like, okay, I'm not a master, so I have to find the strength both physically and also mentally to develop myself and become more mature. And that nothing happened until the end for Sora.
All his friends were gone, and he was like, wow, my powers
And
and
then,
my friends.
and then he screamed, and then he cried, and then he became a master.
Like, he screamed and cried, and then found out that he can just time travel.
Right.
And saved all his friends. And they go, hey, Sora, don't abuse that. Okay, I'm just going to save everyone, even if it means that I die. And it's just the same Sora we've had, where Sora just doesn't care about the consequences. He does whatever he has to do to protect his friends. Kingdom Hearts 1, he literally stabbed himself in the chest. Kingdom Hearts 2, he, like, got stuck in the realm of darkness, got out from Deus Machina, but, like, Sora's always had, like, I don't care, I'm going to save my friends, and he he never fights for himself. It's like the shonen protagonist, like, I'm fighting because my friends are in danger. I'm not fighting because I actually need to fight. Like, everyone it was, like, wanting to fight Xehanort because Xehanort did something to them. Like, from the Sea Salt Trio to the Wayfinder on Birth by Sleep Trio, like, they all had something where, like, some Nort messed them up.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, Kairi, like, Ansem abducted her and took her soul out. And, like, Riku being possessed and Mickey having to deal with all this stuff and Donald and Goofy losing, like, the Birth by Sleep Trio, losing friends in the past and just seeing this all happen and seeing how it's going down. It's just, like, Sora was like, I'm only fighting Xehanort because Xehanort messed with my friends. And it's just one of those things I was like, Sora, like, they even said, like, Sora, you gotta fight for yourself, man. Like, Riku's like, all your friends are dead, but Sora, you gotta, like, pick up and do something about it. Like, you gotta fight yourself. And so it's like, I can't.
And then he did nothing until Riku died.
He still didn't do anything. He just died.
Yeah, he just died. and then used time travel.
Well, and then he went to the world, like, the world, like, above, or
The final world.
The final world. And Charity's like, you suck. Like, that little plush, he was like, you're a Keyblade Master? You suck. And he was like, I can't do anything. He was like, he said, you're a Keyblade Master? You can't do anything? You know you can just use the power of Awakening. You know you can just, like, bring these people back to life. And then, if you don't speak to all the stars, one of the stars is actually Naminé.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, you guys kind of messed up. I'm going to contact Terra and make sure this doesn't happen again. So, like, a lot of it was just, like, anyone could have done it. Like, it's not a Sora-specific thing. And it's just one of those things where it's just, like, they died. Like, they lost. Xehanort only lost because, like, Sora said no. Like, you're all dead, all your friends are dead. No. So
that's one of my biggest problems with Sora is just, like, he's such a naive shonen protagonist, and he does it to the point that all the good characters around him have to be so ridiculously forgiving just so that he still has friends. And then the story itself wraps itself in mega twists and circles just so it can, like, push this convoluted plot as, like, a means to say power of friendship for whatever reason.
Xehanort, who, like, they said in the game transcends space and time. He literally said, Mickey's like, we can't beat Xehanort because he transcends space and time. Like, he's everywhere and everywhere at the same time. Like, wow, we can't beat him. And then he gets the Keyblade, which is supposed to be this all-powerful weapon that can unlock Kingdom Hearts and do whatever. And Sora literally gets beat in the final boss. Like, he literally died. And then Goofy and Donald Trump go, hey, Sora, wake up. And he wakes up and he goes, rainbow beam of friendship, and beats Xehanort? Like, in the final boss, the one thing I wanted in the final boss, I wanted Sora to wield the Keyblade. Like, I was thinking the only way Sora can beat Xehanort is he gets the Keyblade or he gets some type of Mega Amp. No.
In my version of the game, he beat him with a Kingdom Key.
That's what I said. My version, he beat the Keyblade with the Kingdom Key. He really went. He pointed his just little laser at the Keyblade and said, yeah, bye, Xehanort. It was just one of those things where I was like, so much power of friendship, and it's just, I mean, I've grown up, like, I'm biased because I've grown up with Kingdom Hearts. I've always been exposed to this power of friendship. But one thing I think we didn't talk about was the like, non-existence of Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah. Well, that kind of comes up with that secret ending. Did you guys see that?
Oh,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I got the secret ending. So
the world ends with you.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. But we get to see a Cactuar, Moogle, and Cloud at the beginning of the game as a statue, and that's all the Final Fantasy representation we get.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand they were saying, like, hey, Kingdom Hearts is growing into its own thing where like it had the Final Fantasy characters and the Disney characters to help like attract people to the game.
Yeah.
But like since Kingdom Hearts is owned by Disney, they cannot not have Disney characters.
Yeah.
But they were like, we don't really need the Final Fantasy characters because Kingdom Hearts is its own kind of thing now. And like, no, I want to see. Like there were so many rumors about is Cloud coming back? Is Sephiroth? Will they add Noctis or like Lightning from a new
Oh, dude, they
game?
have Noctis.
Oh man.
But like
Boy.
no. And like we did get the last like other Square representation. We got The World Ends With You. But they weren't even in their own world. They were like in Traverse Town.
Yeah.
Which is never really kind of explained. But like, I would love to see The World Ends With You world because
I mean, Neku did say, "See you in Shibuya."
yeah, he did say see you in Shibuya. But like anyone knows who knows me that knows I love The World Ends With You. Like that game, we've not played The World Ends With You, like shameless like hash, but like it's such a good game.
Yeah.
Like gameplay wise, it's pretty good. Depending on what you played on, I've heard some things about like the Switch version.
No, the Switch version, if you play it on the Switch, just play it in handheld mode. It's not worth trying to play it on TV
But
mode.
I played it both on DS, which is really, it was like kind of iconic for like using the top and bottom screen. A lot of games didn't do that at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the mobile game that you can still get now for your iPad or iPhone. It's like $15. So like you can still get the game and it's really good. And I would say it's probably one of the most compelling stories I've played in like a JRPG. And like I'm not gonna spoil anything because I know Abe still hasn't finished the game yet.
I mean, I already know the ending. I got up to the final boss, but I was like, I need to start Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, but like like sitting there and the betrayal of things and like I'm literally like I've never seen a character I hated so much at the beginning and got to the end I was like I love this character.
Yeah.
It's just now I'd love to see like them work with like The World Ends With You if they worked with anything and like imagine The World Ends With You music in Kingdom Hearts. I would tell
I
you.
mean, it was in
Oh
Dream
yeah,
of
Calling
Distance.
was in there. Yeah, it was really
Calling
good.
and wasn't.
Twister. I think it was
I
just
think
Twister.
Twister. Yeah, I think it was Twister.
It was
also
Calling
in
and
there.
Twister had a Dream Drop Distance remix, and those were good.
Yeah, those were
were amazing.
Those are great.
And like
Those are like the definitive versions, in my opinion.
And like I would just love to see like having like a partner like we can't have Joshua as a partner. No, that's out of the question. But like Beat, Rhyme, Shiki, Neku, like I would see like how they incorporate their powers in a 3D sense.
Yeah. They make your Keyblade a pen. Oh god.
But yeah, again, I would see even more Square properties get into like Kingdom Hearts. Like it's just I felt like that was a big part of Kingdom Hearts that we were missing out on.
Yeah. Well, since we're at the end of the story, how about we talk about the ending of the game a little bit more?
What happened? Like
So much.
it's like I'm like okay, like ooh the credits are rolling and I'm like oh this is so great and I'm hearing like Don't Think Twice and that song is so good. I'm crying. I'm like wow, I really beat Kingdom Hearts 3. Like I've been waiting forever to do this. And then you see Sora hold Kyrie's hand and he gets Thanos. And I will tell you, I was in the lobby and it was me and my friends. I was playing the game. My friends were watching, and we all simultaneously took our head and just hit it against the wall. Like, we were like, he made it this far and he dies. That's his reward. And like I know it was alluded by young Xehanort the whole time, like, hey Sora, you're gonna die. You keep using the power awakening, you're gonna die. You may not want to use the power awakening, you're gonna die. But like, and then that whole thing where like the epilogue where we have, the foreteller showing up again, time travel once again.
Yeah,
and then
I was so lost. I didn't. play
Lucio
Kingdom
shows
Hearts.
up and he's like, well, you know, like we never know what Lucio's role was because that's a thing in Kingdom Hearts key where like Ava when the pink one, it's like who leads the dandelions. It's like Lucio, what did the masters tell you to do? And it cuts off. So like, we never know like what's in the box or what Lucio's supposed to do. And then he's like, well, I've got a story to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's like it cuts off, and then the box, and then we had Pete and Maleficent like, what happened? And then it's just one of those things where it's just like
Did they even do anything the whole
they
game?
look for a box, they did, and then at the end they went, this box doesn't exist. And then yeah, Lucy shows up. Well, formerly known as Zigbar, Braig, Lucy everyone shows up with the box. And if you notice, Braig was the only organization member that did not actually die on screen when you beat them. All of them, they got through. He
fell
just
off the
jumped.
side.
He just said, I'm gonna jump. So like, it's one of those things where like, also no one reacted to Sora dying in that scene.
Yeah.
Like they just said, Okay. Like, it's like after Sora dying, it's time for somebody else to pick up the scrap. Like, I need to see Riku do something. Not like Markham Mastery, but like Riku go, man, I really haven't done anything.
Right.
Or like Mickey, I haven't done anything. Or some of these other characters, like the other characters, they get an excuse. Like, they've gone through so much mental torment, they need a break. Like, all these other characters, like, give them a break, let them have their time. But like, some of these people just really need to step up their game. Like Kyrie, get Kyrie to do something. Like, will Kyrie go like, hey, man, I did nothing and Sora died for it. I need to step up and do something. So it's just one of those things where the ending left a bitter taste in my mouth. Like, it was good. Like, I'm fine with the epilogue, like, because Kingdom Hearts epilogues are known to like make you go, man, wow, more questions to Nomura. Time to come up with fan theories for the next 3 years. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But like, it's just the fact that Sora's dead, or thought to be dead, or somewhere else. I guess he's in Shibuya. I don't know how that works out, but like, him just being gone and just all that he's gone through, like needlessly rushing headfirst into like the storm for his friends, and then him just getting nothing out of it just upsets me.
Yeah. I feel my problem with like an epilogue, like a cliffhanger ending like that is like, it's not like a Marvel movie where you're getting another movie in 4 months. This you're like waiting 4 years for another game. Like, what is going on?
That's what I'm hoping the DLC like figures out some of those
Yeah.
questions or rounds it out. I know it's supposed to add extra. I know the DLC is supposed to add extra scenes in the story, the actual story, to explain more things that they said. They said
Please.
like more story scenes, and then of course I feel it appears that they're completely overhauling the Keyblade Graveyard.
Really?
Like, if you looked at the trailer, you're fighting as like when they were fighting as Roxas or fighting like Sora was not in that like character like that was fighting with you in some of those. So like for me, that's also one reservation I had was like Sora came to someone's mess and cleaned it up and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things like Birth by Sleep Trio fighting Terranor. Sora goes, okay, I beat Terranor. Okay, I'm out. You guys get to deal with that. So like a lot of these story like things that need to be solved, I wish they had solved it on their own.
Yeah.
And I had Sora just kind of clean up, come into their own fight, clean up, and leave. So like, that's like, bro, you're eating a good burger and someone just comes in and eats the burger and just dips. So like, you don't really get anything out of it. So like, I would love to like see them resolve these things themselves. And then also seeing you get to do like, it seemed like almost like data fights with the organization. So that's good to see like, we may be getting more use out of Scala at Kylum or the Keyblade Graveyard to do. But I'm definitely excited. They're definitely getting my $25.
It's $25.
It's probably gonna be like 25. It's a big story expansion. It's probably 25 for 15.
Okay.
Wasn't the Xenoblade 2 expansion like $40?
Cool.
I know, it's a big cash right there. That's a whole game right there.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I feel like I didn't do a good job on catching up on what happened during Birth by Sleep. Like, that's probably the game I know I remember the least about. So, they pulled a lot from that game, especially at the end. So I was kind of, all right, I'm gonna hang on for the ride. But yeah, I feel like by the end I wasn't too far gone, but I can't help but to say that I feel like they abandoned a lot of the rules that they set up about the story like early on. Like for one, it's just like, okay, this is how these are how Heartless and Nobodies work. Okay, but now there's like the future Nobody and the past Nobody, but also there can be a Nobody and a Heartless and the regular person. But then you can also bring the person back from data and then store that in a replica. But then you can also take out a Nobody out of a person's heart and that person still exists and then just put that Nobody in a replica. I'm like, this is like calculus when they give you okay, this rule happens, but there's like 15 exceptions. Like, what actually is going on?
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I guess final thoughts. A rating if you want to give it that.
I would say, like at launch, without like critical mode and without the DLC coming into it, I don't know how it's gonna change it, but I'd give it a solid like 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Marvin.
Probably be about the same, 8.5. somewhere around there, especially with critical mode now.
Yeah, critical mode, I would raise it up to like 8.75 or like almost a 9.
Yeah, I'm not touching critical mode.
Bro, I died like 10 times in the tutorial, dude. That shit's rough.
Oh god. I'm still trying to find an exact number, but right now I'm floating somewhere between a 7 and an 8.
Respectable.
Yeah. I mean, not the best story.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what really
definitely
holds it
can't
back.
say that, but I would pretty much recommend it to anybody who's a fan of action RPGs or JRPGs.
Definitely.
Just get ready for a shonen story.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have time for many other JRPGs on this episode, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. All right. Well, thank you for hanging in here with us on this journey into the heart, if we want to call it that.
Dive.
Yeah. Thank you, Alvin, our special guest for this episode.
Thanks.
Really appreciate you. Thank you to everyone listening. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Comment what you think about Kingdom Hearts and Astral Chain if you're playing that. And be sure to listen to whatever we come up with next on the Fig Bellas podcast. Thank you. We love you. See you next time.